Shalom. All praise is honor and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Ba'asham Raka Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akem. And this is your brother Abawan, back again with another video. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Ba'asham Raka Kodash, all praises and glory is due, especially in these times. So yeah, and this is commodity. The name of the channel is Commodity Culture, and that's not the important part. Okay, the focus is on this individual right here, G. Edward Griffin. And I'm sure that you Akem already know who this is, right? Because he's somebody that has, just like I've forgotten the name of the other individual that recently, about Aaron Russo. That's what I was thinking about. He has been exposing the elites of Esau Edom and their actions, right? He's the author of the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, All Wars Are Bankers' Wars, right? And the various other books. Let me see. There was one more I was looking at. Yeah, The Capitalist Conspiracy. Yes, that's what that other one I was looking for. And basically, what he does in these books is that he exposes the elites of Esau Edom for trying to basically control the finance of the world through banking, right? That's why you have the Federal Reserve in every single nation on the earth, right? Even the ones that the West claims to be at war with, like Russia and China and so on and so forth, except for countries like Iran, North Korea, and etc., which shows you the reason why you are constantly seeing these conflicts and wars between these nations. Okay, but in this video, what is basically going into is the capitalist, international bankers, right, and the war mongering of Esau Edom. So this is the title of the video. We are being played again as wars drive profit for banker class. G. Edward Griffin. Basically, the idea all wars are bankers' wars, right? When he's talking about the banker class, really what he means are the elites of Esau Edom. Okay, that is the actual true elites, the rulers of this world, right? Your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, DuPonts, your elite banking families that hold influence. Mainly, of course, speaking of the Rothschilds, because you have to remember, okay, the origin of the Rothschild family was that they began in banking. And when you are living under a system of capitalism, right, the elites or the people with the most influence and power will be the ones that control the money. That's why you have, I believe it was Meyer Schelbauer that said, "Give me control of a nation's wealth, and I care not who rules over it," because, like I said, he who controls the money is the one that controls the system, especially under capitalism. Okay, so you always have this ideology being pushed around online that, oh, the reason why the earth is so messed up is because of capitalism, right? They'll be throwing that term around that, oh, it's capitalism, we're in late stage capitalism and so on and so forth. But what you people don't understand is that it is not the system that is messed up, it is the ruler that created that system and made it messed up. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is that no matter what system you are abolished, okay, no matter what system you adopt, no matter what economic system you adopt, whether it's capitalism or socialism or communism or any other of your isms, Marxism or Leninism, or even though all these things are already messed up because you were set up by Esau Edom, but any of these isms and social or economical systems, no matter what you adopt, it will still end up the same way. Why? Because you are being ruled over by the wicked, which is of course Esau Edom. So this is the book of Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. but when the wicked beareth through, the people mourn, right? And man, this, G. Edward Griffin, he really went in this video. Okay, started to break down what's going on, specifically speaking of the conflict between Israel and Iran right now, and how the US is just basically involving themselves in that. Trump will come out and say, "I don't really want to do anything to Iran right now. I just want to leave that situation alone. Try to broker peace, right?" And then a minute later, he sends bombs to Iran. Okay, and a minute later he sends a $9 billion aid package over to Israel. Let them defend themselves, quote unquote, against Iran. And that's basically the policy of Esau Edom. Okay, that's why, if I remember correctly, I think it was the Department of Defense or the Ministry of Defense, right? There's this organization in the US. I think it's either the Department of Defense or the Ministry of Defense. Now I can't really remember the name. That used to be called the Department of War or the Ministry of War. Let me try and see if I can get that. Here it is. I think this should be it. I think this should be it. Here it is. Yeah, this is the US Department of War. Okay, so this was what the quote unquote Department of Defense was originally called, the US Department of War. So basically they renamed the Department of War to the Department of Defense. So when these devils are talking about defense, basically what they are saying is they are going on the offensive, they are attacking nations that they believe will eventually raise up and be able to attack them, which is exactly why you see all throughout history the ways in which Esau Edom has dealt with you Israelites. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. It has ultimately been for the purpose of destruction and hatred against you Israelites, right? So what's back to what he was saying, right? The whole conflict between, right, the US and Iran, and it's all set up solely for the purpose of, let's get this precept real quick. Okay, because what G. Edward Griffin will say is that, the bankers set it up for profit, right? Because the money they make when they are selling these weapons, they're using these weapons in war, right? And which, of course, that's the main reason for it. That's one of the reasons for it. Okay, but according to the scriptures, right, because they pull the meat, right, from the bones of these type of conversations and relate them to biblical prophecy. And the main reason why this is happening is because you are being ruled over by the red horse. Okay, or rather I should say, this is the time of the red horse. So this is the book of Revelation 6 verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, right? And that's exactly what is going on right now. You're being ruled over by the red horse, whose role, right, on the earth was to take peace away from the earth, so that the earth would be constantly plagued with all these wars, right? That's the reason why you see that countries like the US, countries like Israel, hell, countries like the UK as well, and all these European countries have always been involved in one war or the other since their establishment up until now, and has not had a prolonged period of not being involved in one war or the other, because you are being ruled over, right? And because they are the red horse, which the Bible speaks of, and they are here to take peace from the earth, okay, by way of the sword. As we already know, the blessing of Esau Edom is the sword, which is why when our forefather Isaac blessed Esau, he said, "By thy sword shalt thou live." Let's get that precept. I believe that should be Genesis 27. So I just want to go straight to the point, okay? I just want to go straight to the point. And let me just also say this as well, that our forefather Jacob did not steal the blessing from Esau Edom, okay? It was always his blessing as ordained by the Most High Yahweh Basham Yawashai, right? And also, secondly, Esau sold his birthright and including that blessing, when in all actuality, it was Esau that tried to steal his blessing back from what he had already given to Jacob. Okay, so now this is the book of Genesis 27, and I'll start from verse 40. Genesis 27 verse, and I'll start from verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right, and that's exactly the blessing that was given to Esau Edom, his sword, which is why you see that when Esau Edom is in power, peace has been taken away from the earth, and there is always so much violence and bloodshed and war and conflict and so on and so forth all over the earth, because it is in Esau's nature to make war, okay, to take peace from the earth. And to, let's get this next precept, okay, because I'm going through basically the points that he made in the video, and you have to bear with me so that for not actually going into the video and bringing out all the points that he made, because amen, I don't really want, if I did that, there will be more of the video that he there was more of his video, right, than this actual video, because he was really going in, okay, breaking it down basically, on an economic level, the state of, basically on an economic level, the reasons for this war, how it lines up the pockets of the elites of Esau Edom, how it also gives them further control on the earth, and how it also relates to the book written by George Orwell, 1984, right? And you also had wars going on within the book, and the reason why the wars are going on was basically because the different leaders of the nations at war had decided that it would be easier to control their citizens by constantly going to war with each other. Basically, it was a never-ending war, because they had no intention of ending the war, right? Because the constant threat of violence, the constant threat of war would make the people, right, would make the people, more dependent on the government, similar to what's going on right now with the state of Israel. And I think the elder Malcolm has brought this out many times, how basically the people of the state of Israel, the small hats, were protesting their King David, Bibi. Anyway, they were protesting Bibi, right? And as soon as this war between them and the Palestinians begin, or I should say the G side, right, and the other conflicts that Israel obviously provoked, then you begin to see these protests quiet down. And now Bibi is looking like a leader that is trying to protect his people and his nation and so on and so forth. The normal media brigade you usually see, right, from these sellouts media conglomerates that are ironically controlled by the small hats, that try to paint him out as though, or that paint it out as though, the state of Israel is simply defending itself from the terrorists heathen. Well, of course, that's beside the point, And yeah, we've already gone through that. So let me go back to what I was trying to get. Let's go back to what I was trying to get. So this is the book of Habakkuk 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? And this is the purpose of these wars that Esau Edom is fighting right now, to take control over the different sectors of the earth that are against him, and to get further control over the whole earth. So these wars are being waged in order to set up Esau Edom's new world order, the Great Reset, which is something that we are constantly, speaking about and going into in this truth, because it is a major prophecy. And G. Woodward Griffin also mentioned this, not really, by name, right, but rather just saying that, eventually, right, like we always say in this truth, and really, even the people that are in the world can see it as well, that they are going to do away with the fiat currency, with the cash currency, and move to digital, which we see that that transition has already begun with Donald Trump's big beautiful bill, right, where you have deregulated AI, which means that, hey, ultimately, Esau can basically do as he pleases with the AI technology, and that is ultimately going to set up, the MOTB, because, like, this is just me speaking as a man, but I believe that, in order to process the large amounts of data and information that will be used, or that will be transferred or received, on a daily basis, through the C heap and the MOT, through the MOTB, right, which is the implantable RFID C heap. You would need AI, a powerful AI in order to do that. And that's basically how you see all these different ChatGPT, Grok, and DeepSeek set up all over the place. And that's probably a future video. So I'm going to leave it at that, right? So yeah, so let's keep going. So, like I was saying, right, and that's why you see him doing all these wars in order to take more control over the earth, because ultimately what Esau Edom wants is control, all right, total control. And that is exactly what the MOTB and his new NWO, right, will afford him. So that's why these wars are being waged, in order to further his agenda and further his purposes, and also because he's the devil which the Bible speaks of, right? That's the main reason right there, because Esau Edom is the devil which the Bible speaks of, and that cannot be stressed on enough, right? This is what he was put on the earth to do, to bring destruction and to bring confusion and to bring war upon the earth. Okay, so I want to get another precept. Now let me leave it at that. Okay, yeah. Let me go and get that. Okay, because this is what Esau does, man. So this is the book of Micah 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, right? And these quote unquote wars that you're always hearing about, Esau Edom going on to fight, Vietnam War, Korean War, the conflict between Israel and Iran, the conflict going on between Israel and Palestine. This is nothing more than Esau Edom going to another man's land and oppressing them, and disguising it as a war, when actually it is not actually a war. It's just Esau being Esau, which is basically using the force of the sword and violence to take over or conquer or colonize or rule over the heathen. That's why you had World War One. That's why you had World War Two. That's why you had Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Fat Boy and Little Man. I believe those are the names of the atomic bombs, right? And to just continue on and on and on like this, continue to escalate and get worse until these devils be put down. Okay. So yeah, like he said, man, all wars are bankers' wars. All these wars were set up for the same purpose, right? To control, basically to give the elites of Esau Edom more power. And the reason why they want more power is because, let's get that precept. All right, I believe the term is megalomania. Okay, megalomania. Let's get that. Let's go to the dictionary and make sure that I'm saying that right. Okay, because I believe the term is megalomania. Let's get that. Megalomania, which is of course a mental illness, because that's what mania is basically. So yeah, megalomania. So let's get it in the Merriam-Webster. Megalomania, a mania A for great or grandiose performance. A delusional mental illness that is marked by feelings of personal omnipotence and grandeur. Right, so basically that is let's just go to the for the easier definition right here from the dictionary, from the Oxford Language Dictionary. Obsession with the exercise of power, right? And that's what Esau Edom has, megalomania, which is his obsession with power, okay, and specifically the God complex form of the power. So now, in order to be like the Most High, however, Hashem Yahushai. So before I go into that, I want to get this as well. Mania, okay, and the definition, or rather the etymology for the word mania: mental derangement characterized by excitement and delusion. From late Latin mania, which means insanity, madness. From the Greek mania, madness, right? So let's see. So yeah, basically the term mania means madness, but also this menos, which also means passion and spirit. Okay. So yeah, let's keep going. So let's get this next precept. Second Thessalonians 2 verse 2, and it reads, Second Thessalonians 2 verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, all that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Right. So, like I said, megalomania and a God complex. That's exactly what is fueling the main reason why Esau Edom, right? The elites of Esau Edom are doing all that they are doing on the earth. Okay. They are the wicked which the Bible speaks of, and they are looking for or looking to usurp the power from the Most High, however, Hashem Yahushai. So with that, I'll end the video right here. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, however, Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Raka Kwadash, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom. And through the Spirit of Yakim and Joaquat were edified, Shalom.